channel.
Recording is on.
Okay, that's it.
Mm-mm.
So, uh, and that was all my buttons.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So membership.
Yeah, I've got a membership program. I've decided since AI has kind of jumped in on top of our course making, I've decided that, like a lot of people, I decided that you can't just have courses anymore. You got to have a community around it. You got to have everything else involved with it. And since I, took this year to really jump out there and do some things differently than I had in the past by starting my podcast, among other things. And having content to put out there and using AI to help me do all of it. It's really sped up the process, it's given me the ability to do many more things. And so now I'm going to put them all together under the roof of my membership program, and at the same time still, run an agency as a part of it, because the teachings or the general concepts of the membership program are going to get people's understanding of what they need to do that they're not doing currently. That's the mindset of going into it. So
What platform are you using for your membership?
I'm actually using High Level.
Okay.
Um, so I just, as much as I love Kartra, it's funny, I just saw as I left Kartra this month, um, the person who used to run Kartra passed away, and then it was run by somebody else, and things started changing drastically. And then now somebody else is running things. I think they're losing people right and left, and they didn't understand why. But they're just. I mean, I wrote out them a lot of letter anyway. I'm into High Level. High Level surpassed them with all the new capabilities that it's brought on as an AI, as a all in one program. And so it just, a lot of the functionalities I need to get rolling are all in the same place. And I'm talking about things from as simple as having all my videos and all my products hosted within the platform, to obviously building out the funnels, or building out pages, but also the ability to do the community there, serve the courses from there, all of that. So it just is going to save me from having to have so many different platforms to try to do everything, or so many different pieces to be able to put together on one simple platform, like WordPress or something like that. So I'm excited about that.
Okay.
That's
Hey,
so
L.
exciting. Hey y'all, that's so exciting because we just did our transition into go high level as well.
Well, okay. So you finding it, you comfortable with it?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot. Trying to learn myself and then man,
Yep.
you gotta MVP it and then how figure out all those different levels of tech that your people know.
Yep.
And then also, where you want to take everything. So I agree. It's a great program, a great platform, right?
Hmm.
Because it's an all in one. Because we moved our website to it. The only thing that's scary to me, I'm like, if it goes down, then that's everything.
Everything goes down with it. It
Yeah.
is like that. There is a way around this kind. Because I worked in Kartra for so long, I knew what I was getting into as far as that's concerned. I'm going to go to, by the way, I'm going to go to another place right now. There we go. So I needed some refreshment in my life right there. It's funny because it does, when it does go down. The thing is, you got to be doing enough to be able to not let it go down at a, the minimum level is $100 a month. You got to be able to pour that into it, or more. But I had like Kartra at the time. I was able to have all five of my websites on Kartra, and for $99 a month or whatever it was. They changed their pricing when they did. They also changed their packaging and made it so that even their next scale up, which was like $300, you could only have three domains on it, and then it goes up higher. They've actually now introduced something lower as well, but you only get like 5 pages and one domain for $59, and then unlimited pages for $100. But on High Level, it's a similar thing. So, but you just get way more for like for you get like three domains for the $100 or something like that. But the point of that is that you can if you need to, you can also, like, I have WordPress websites. Right now, some of my domains are on WordPress. I can tie high level into WordPress. So the purpose of why I did this was because I was letting my Kartra go a little bit. And so I kind of rebuilt the back pages in case I didn't have Kartra on, so I could have like my general, like for my business, my general pages are on WordPress. But then if I want to build a funnel or have a funnel come in quickly, I could have dropped it in from Kartra. The same kind of thing can be done from high level. So, I can keep my presence on if I wanted to via WordPress, and then do my funnels, my emails, my community, and everything else in high level. And then if there was ever a financial crisis, I could still have my website up. That's one of the thought processes I have, but I'm not going to go that route. I'm not going to let that happen. So,
Mhm. But I just meant like if it crashed or something. Period.
no,
It's like
yeah.
everything. But
And
that's just the game you got to play because
yeah,
you do anything can go crazy. So what I learned really this last quarter was so difficult for we were using. I mean we've been using Client Joy for like 3 years or something. Then all of a sudden they kept saying, "Oh, we're upgrading this, upgrading that." Well, they
yep.
broke it. They broke it real bad. And I I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I just know that it just stopped working for us. So uh, we have so I hired a go high level expert to come in and help me to. We rebuilt our website. We rebuilt our CRM. We incorporated our paywall. I mean our paywall, whatever you want to call it. And we have funnels. We have three different funnels for all three of our target markets. We added um, a book pre-launch and speaking, like hiring me as a speaker to that. So now I think we have a full uh, system that's all interlocked. So now it's just you know figuring out, okay, so what we built, how's it working? Now it's like time for refinement.
Okay. Oh, I guess we already really started. We're talking about our wins and catching up, turning messaging into monetizations, and this is the wrap up for August. So I have slides to help us, I guess, answer what all went on in August. Do you want to use the slides, or do you want to just keep talking?
Use.
Let's just keep talking.
Uh, I
Either
was
one's
saying use the
fine.
slides, but you're the boss.
Okay, how about this? I will share it, turn it on and turn it off. How about that?
That works.
That way we can keep talking if we want to. So I am going to push this button, push that button, that button.
So
So
while we were on that last subject, though, real quickly, I want to ask you: had you ever used an all-in-one software like that before?
Before Client Joy,
Uh, Before you were doing, I don't know the one you were talking about. So, I was just wondering if you'd used anything like High Level that was all inclusive, all-in-one program like High Level.
I did. I had used Builderall,
Okay.
um, and it was Builderall was great when it first came out. It was amazing, and then they started trying to figure out how to. I don't know what they were doing really, but I just know that every time I turned around, something was changing. The way that the program was working was changing, and it wasn't something that I wanted to do. And then because when I first started using them, everything was HTML5,
Mm,
which was great. And then um like I would, you know, pull back up into it after a week or so, and so it'll be totally different. The interface is different.
Mhm.
It was bad, and I was just like, oh, that's why I hired the expert. So if something's going to change, it's on them to figure it out. I mean,
Yep.
yeah, because that
So
was just because I don't. I mean, you running your business, you know what their job. I feel like when you're working with a platform, their job is to support you, not make your life more complicated. And so when they do all these flipping and flopping, it's like, give me the option. Do I want to upgrade to your new AI, your new UI, or do you need to have a class or something that's going to tell me, okay, so this is coming and this is what you used to do, and you'll still be able to do what you used to doing, but this is how you do it now.
yep. I haven't had too many extremes like you're talking about. I've been building websites since 2000, and but I've had them crash, and that sucks.
Oh
Especially
yeah.
when you have like I one of the websites I had that would crash on me was almost a mirror image of mine, and yet it would go down, and I wouldn't understand why. And I figured out certain things. It might have had one or two things on the website that wasn't the same as what I was using, and that would crash it. What was the program you said? Something Joy?
Client joy.
Client joy.
I don't know that one. Hmm.
I
I
got
try
it
to know
from I
everything.
got it from our best friend.
Oh,
Yeah, it was one of those situations.
got it. Enough said.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
But I
found.
but I didn't even but I wasn't even doing it as a LTD. I literally was still like I did get the base part of it as a LTD, but I opted to do the monthly payment part
Hmm.
so that because I'm figuring okay, so usually LTDs go down because they're not making money off you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so I'm willing to invest in this one, so let me keep. And I think I should have, instead of doing Client Joy, I should have used Nifty. I probably would have been happier.
Well, I say this to my clients. There's certain things that when you're, it's like there's certain things you have to know and you have to kind of have an understanding of. And when you don't, when you don't, your ability to breathe on that tool or on, so
Okay,
you want
your
to
your
control
sound is clicking in and out.
it.
It's off now.
Hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
Okay. Sorry, I moved my microphone. I was just saying that like there's certain things that like when I tell my clients, there's two things I tell them. One is you want to have a, make sure you have a good solid base, a good solid foundation, and that goes with, starting with whatever platform you're starting with. The other thing I always tell them is have your own digital marketing strategy, because if you always rely on the agencies to create your digital strategy, they come and go, and it's like they're your breath of fresh air, they're your scuba gear, and they're your air tanks, and every time you go to another agency, you're cutting off that air tank and waiting to find another air tank from another agency, and they keep going. And to me, it's like from that perspective, your strategy is got to be from, you've got to own the strategy, and then you know what to hire other people to do. And the same thing for the platforms. I always say, I want my clients to have a good, sturdy, well-known platform that's going to be there, and everything else we can gamble on. So I just had too many. I've tried it all because obviously in the world that we are in and the things that we do, I've tried all kinds of different platforms. I just learned for my businesses and for the people I work with. I don't let them do that anymore.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we definitely. Well, I thought Client Joy was going to be great because it really did work for a very long time. I was really happy with it,
Hmm.
and then they broke it.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know what they were trying to do, but
Hmm. Well, Erica, I know you put a card up there for a minute, and I'm sorry that I talked over it. So,
Oh, no worries. I told you I was going to turn it on and off anyway.
mhm.
So, this is what it said. Uh, Here. So we're closing out August with a celebration and a reset. So this fifth Friday session is your chance to share wins, breakthroughs, and aha moments from our turning messaging into monetization month. We'll tie up loose ends, finish in progress actions, and get you ready to roll your monetization strategies into future events without the stress of a massive launch.
Hmm. Now,
So,
this
with
on that one of the paragraphs on that is real. The where was it? Let's see, turning messaging into monetization. I
mhm,
I put up an encore episode on my podcast yesterday, and the I don't know if you know Nikki Chang Powless,
mhm,
but Nikki had a moment with one of her clients, and it was the client always went to these networking meetings, always went to the networking meetings was, and no one ever asked her for a card. She sat down with Nikki and changed her marketing message, and made it about the client and what exactly she did. And the bottom line is people started asking her for a card from that point on. And so she
nice.
said she'd been in that thing for years and nobody asked anything. So I see turning messaging into monetization. That's exactly the power of having your messaging right, especially when it's aligned with the right audience.
Yeah. So, our goal here is for us to leave feeling accomplished, connected, clear, and how to keep momentum going. So, uh, hopefully, we will do that. So, celebrate the wins, share and honor your biggest progress this month. If you guys have anything you want to share about what happened this month, let us know.
Yeah, so we got all these on camera already. No, no. Go.
I guess so. Our biggest thing that we did this month was we were invited to Delaware State University, and we actually went, and we treated 17 people. We had 19 appointments. We treated um, f- four top uh, ex pro athletes, including Deshaun Jackson, Clinton Portis, Eugene Chung, and Emerson Martin. So we only originally went there just to treat those coaches. But once they got treated, they were like, "Oh my God, you got to get our guys." And it was a pretty it was a it was a it was a very busy, very impactful uh, appointment. I guess I don't know what you want to call it. Weekend. We ended up getting actual drops and testimonials from those ex pro athletes and all of the students. We got their testimonials. So
Wait,
we have.
I got to stop because you know I'm nosy. You've had a lot of things happen this month alone, and
Mhm.
I was really excited that you had your website done in high level. I was excited that you got your deal with Furman, and you got this thing in Delaware. You went to some other event with uh, quarterbacks. And was this your favorite one in Delaware? Was this the best thing that happened to you all August? Because personal opinion, outside looking in, a lot of great things has happened for you
I
that you didn't
agree.
want.
I agree. I was going to talk about everything, but yeah, all those things happened this month. It was very crazy. I mean, after dealing with client joy going down and freaking out and having to. So what happened when we switched to go high level? I was like, you know what? Since we have the capability to do what I really want us to be and do, we're gonna go ahead and do it. So not only did we upgrade the platform, we upgraded our language, right? So now instead of us talking about just recovery and regeneration and everything, we actually are consultants. So we have always been a consultancy, but the language that we use is consultancy language. So it just kind of everything kind of happened all at the same time. So getting into Future X with Furman was is a huge, huge, huge deal um, for um, local expansion or expanding our access to the local market. Um, uh, Speaking at the QB Legacy was amazing. It was really great. Um, and something else happened. But yeah, all those things happened this month. It was this month, this has just been a whirlwind. It's just all the work that we've been putting in since in the last, I would say the last 4 years, from going all the way back to when we went to the USFL and then doing that international tour. All of our chickens have come to roost, so to speak. We moved into this new office in January. We've been working really hard to become part of the local sports business community. I mean, we were already part of the regular business community, but this kind of like is going to take us to directly into the flow. Oh, and also the other thing that happened is the president of the NFLPA for South Carolina actually came to our office. I spoke to him on the phone. He was supposed to come to our open house, but he didn't make it because um because of his job. So he ended up just calling me one day and saying, "I think I'm in your parking lot." I was like,
Nice.
"Okay, well, come on in." And so we ended up talking and sharing with him what we're all about and how we and that we were hoping to collaborate with them. And then so he actually came in and got a treatment so he could see what it was like. And he's like, just send me a brochure. I'm going to have you come out for this and that. So there's just a lot going on. So I'm so grateful. Just grateful.
Hooray. Very nice. And Joe, she said all of this was going to happen before it happened. So,
Mm.
how about you, Joe? How has your August been?
My August has been.
Wait, do you need me to show you the question again or
Yeah,
no?
show me the question again, please.
Okay. Well, the question is celebrate wins, share, and honor your biggest progress this month.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
for me, it's like, how has your August been? But go ahead.
yeah. My polish your phone on make subject lines. Okay, validate offers fast. Well, celebrating the wins is where it's been a very good month as far as now. It took me a while to really visualize where I've had a goal. I've only been working on this for directly for 2 months, and that's the what I was saying at the beginning, the membership program. But I've really gotten clear on where I want to go, how I want to accomplish it, and I'm so grateful that AI that I've learned how to prompt AI to help me figure it out. Because if you start getting deep into prompting, AI can come back with really good information if you use the, if you know where to look and what you're asking it and whatnot. So been able to do several strong things using AI that are guiding me into my membership program, along with what I learned. I did join a membership program for a couple of months. I wanted to stay on it, and I'll go back to it. But the bottom line is, it's helped me to really be able to know exactly what I want to do, as opposed to, I remember, while I was in the corporate world planning this day, that I was like, I think I could do this, I think I could do that. Do I really want to do this? And now I'm at very, very clear what I want to do, how I want to get it done, and it's visible. I now have a domain up. It's not going to be. It's going to be. I have a subdomain holding it so that other people are not really seeing it. I'm going to change it to the main domain here in the near future, because now I have pages up. I knew I found out who my competitors are. There's not very many competitors in the space. There's two others. One is caters directly to women only, so same kind of program, same everything, but they could cater to women only. So that does so that I can use them as a understanding of what they've done and built. And then the other one's been around for 20 years, and I didn't even realize they had a membership variation. But the way they do things, I don't want to do exactly what they're doing in their membership program. So I'll be doing something slightly differently. The bottom line is, because I was able to see, and I basically, if I can see it, I know what I want to, I know how I want to do it. A lot, hearing it doesn't help me one ear and out the other. But now it's I've visually got something. It's up. The homepage is up. It's not connect. I don't have the buttons connected, but I'm basically pretty close to being done with the homepage. And that page, to me, especially the way I build, when I build in a platform where I can save each page section, then I can build a website really fast from that. And so now I've already built, like this week, I built a handful of pages. I brought my podcast in from the outside. Eventually, my podcast will still be public, but I want my members to watch my podcast, and they'll probably be able to get notes and more off of the podcast. And the bottom line is, it's just a win, because it's something that used to be mental, that was a concept in my head, is now enough that I'm sharing. And so I'm building lead magnets that actually will relate to that, and coined some terms and built some forums that will kind of help people understand what we're talking about. It's hard. There's a lot of people who come up with a concept and they try to sell it to people, and people have never heard of it. And that is always difficult unless you have a way to get them to that point. I have a client who has a product, and he's gone through this same thing, and he's gone through agency after agency. He did not own his own strategy. He did not verify that there was a desire for his product out there. And he didn't know how to make people aware. And so you have to be careful as business owners to make sure you go through these steps. And if you haven't addressed one, you got to know how you're going to address it. In this particular case, with me and the agency, I have a term that I've introduced. It's called lead generation literacy. Or are you lead generation literate? That term, we talk about financial literacy. We talk about, computer literacy. We talk about now AI literacy, which nobody has. We're all starting to develop it, right? Um, and lead generation, there's a certain pack of information that you need to really understand. And by saying lead generation literacy, it helps people kind of gather. You don't have to know how to do digital marketing. You don't know how to do literacy. So I've introduced this, and introducing some lead magnets based on AI work that will help people understand. Oh, that's what he means. That's what. Oh yeah, I see. I don't have that, or I do have that, and I'm just really happy that it's kind of all come together, that I can now communicate it easier.
All right.
I'm off the fence now.
All right. So, you had asked for Elle's website. I'm not sure if she saw it, so I put it in the chat for you.
Okay, that's what that ding was. Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Oh, it's so I just forget. I've been on it several times actually, but I'm that guy that's not leaving any information, that's killing your stats when he comes on the site and only looks around for a minute and leaves.
It's all right. It's all right.
No,
I
I
don't
just
mind
wanted
at
to
all.
I
We
wanted
just,
to understand, when we talk with each other like this, sometimes it's like, yeah, what was she talking about? Or she's talking about this, but I can't, like I said, I got to see, I can't envision. So what I wanted to do now, since I've been to your old website, I wanted to see, how much is the same, how much change was there? Is there, and I can already
oh,
see.
yeah. So everything changed because I've been wanting to change it, but the person who was supposed, so my team member who was supposed to be in charge of the website actually got like a major promotion. He's a minister, and he became like an international blah 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 blah. And the time that he used to spend on it, he couldn't anymore.
Right.
And
How much time did he
so,
spend on it? Did you have him spend monthly, would you say?
well, we don't really change it that often. It was just the changes that I wanted were um more uh we usually change it probably like once a year, I guess.
Got it.
Yeah. And it was just this change he just didn't have time to make. So we changed the content but it just didn't, like, it just was, I wasn't happy with it.
Yeah, I like what you have.
Thank you.
I will
Mhm.
say one thing that one thing I build websites. Mine are not always. I have to really look at everybody else's before I really get a good picture of what I want to do with it. But the point is, this it makes you read, which makes you pay close attention when you first get on the site. I like that. Is there a way to put a light background image behind it that kind of also shows what you do, since that's above the fold?
I'll ask them.
That
And we want a light back for, you mean, what do you mean a light? Like, because
just like
it's all black?
because there's no body back there. If you just come to the website and you're me, and it
Mm
says Lux Maverick, and I got you on a big screen here,
hmm. Mm
or bigger screen than average. It says Lux Maverick. I don't see exactly what you do on the top, and I can't understand what it is from the navigation bar.
hmm.
And
Okay.
then I see where elite regeneration begins from clear, and me being the kind of reader I am, I like these bullet points would be great, except I'm already looking for an image before I'm trying to read.
Got
Um,
you.
and so just a background image on that. Like I scrolled down, I was like, oh, okay, there's the runner. That's right. That's what she does. And
Okay.
if that guy was in the background, or any kind of motion guy was in the background, of those comments back there. And so, you would kind of fade him back, because it's not going to be all about him, but at least you'd have an idea. It's about something in motion, some kind of athlete in motion. That's just a
Okay.
thought.
Got you.
That's
I can
just
do
a thought.
that. I'll ask them to do that. We'll do. Thanks for the feedback.
And,
Appreciate that.
yeah, sure. And if you ever need, I haven't done that on high level yet, but I've built in about 15 different website platforms. So I'm usually pretty solid. I'm not a coder, but I'm usually pretty solid at figuring out how websites work and everything. So if you ever have any questions, speak up.
I will. So we actually hired them to do that, so I don't have to. I mean, it
Yeah,
was
you can call me.
already hard enough to have to pull back and go back in the tech world anyway. That was
Yep.
so crazy. But
Hmm.
I'll reach out to them today and I'll let them know. Um, because it we used to have on the other website, it did have like a guy in the background. It was a football player, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It was just an athlete, and I know as my daughters and my kids are all athletes, and so I remember seeing the pictures like, oh yeah, this would be something like for my kids' recovery, and I immediately
Hmm.
got it. So you want to really
Okay,
get it on the homepage. It's like the newspaper. Um,
got you.
when you first open it up, is it something that I want to see on the first page, or am I
Yeah.
going straight to the crosswords? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, he actually hand coded. I mean, that's all coded. I thought
Yeah,
that was cool. I was
that's
so
awesome.
happy. You don't even know when cause let me I'm gonna tell y'all the story. So this one time I had this dude named Brian DeVore. He was amazing. He was one of my early clients. She was getting married and she wanted to look great for her, and this is when I was doing like facelifts and stuff. So she came in, I got her right. She was like, man, I was telling her I was looking for somebody to like, because I had made a WordPress site, but I was looking for somebody who could make it better, right? And she was like, well, my fiance can make it for you. And so he did. You guys, I was so excited. It was great. People would come to our office asking us if we were a franchise because our website was so great. And I
Hmm.
was like so proud of that website, but we needed some updates. And, they had got married and moved to Boston. And I was like, oh my gosh. And this was early still, like in my, I would say my tech, my, I would
Hmm.
say
Tech journey.
user my user in tech journey, because I used to be a ghost coder, but this is like user, like my own thing, right? So this is early in that part. So then Brian comes, so then I, like PayPal and all that was new, and Brian had told me to send him a payment, and I tried to do it and it wouldn't work. And I'm like,
Hmm.
it's not working, it's not working. And I didn't know what I was doing wrong. I was so stressed out. And then um then work got in the way. And so then I ended up, this dude had came to our office and he was like, I can update your website for you and da 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 da. Y'all, he changed my hand coded website into a WordPress site. I was
livid.
mortified. I was like, I could not believe. To this day, I remember his name is Kalanda Kambaya. I would never ever use him for nothing. It's terrible. There, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was just, it was awful. I'm like, Lord, I'm just thinking about it right now. I better like try to get some forgiveness for that because that was terrible. But
See,
anyway, huh? Yeah,
I,
yeah, cause yeah, that's terrible. But I was so upset, and so now I feel like it's full circle. I got me a hand coded website all over again. I'm like super stoked.
it's funny. I had a client that, it's crazy when you build somebody a website or you manage somebody's website for a long time. And then, like I managed somebody for 7 years. They had the pre-built site, so I managed it the way they wanted. I did everything they wanted. And then I went back into the professional world. And so I couldn't be the one managing his website. And the point is that he was always, had the ears, other people's ear. And so somebody, talked them into doing the site. And what did they do? They turned around and made a WordPress site. And I had always thought, man, I would never want, a WordPress site if I don't have to have it unless I have a certain strategy I'm using it for. So,
Yeah, something that's just temporary.
right,
I feel like they are so temporary because it only works for a little while, then everything starts to break. So I'm like, if you're gonna use it for an event or something, fine, a WordPress site. But otherwise, no, absolutely not.
right.
Well, okay. Well, for me, my wins was again is knowing that I'm not supposed to assume, and I assumed that since someone reached out to me and said that they wanted to work with me, that they actually wanted to do just that. And then like 2 weeks passed, and I was like, oh, guess they didn't want to work with me. So I wrote them and said, if you don't want to work with me, that's cool. We got other things coming up. And they're like, oh, hold on. Don't write me off just yet. I do. So we're gonna have a speaker. If you guys know Monty Weaver, he's gonna be our speaker for Friday, next Friday coming, and he's going to be talking about building communities online. Um, Another win was uh, I got to work with Elle about her podcast, The Unwind. Again, I assumed that when she told me that she wanted to work with me, that she did. So she asked me about writing up a something for her about the podcast. I did. I sent it to her and I didn't hear from her. And I was like, "Oh no, she doesn't want to work with me anymore." But she did. So I am trying my best to not assume anymore, but because things are working out. So I'm glad to have people ask for me to work with them, and I actually get to work with them. So do you guys have any validated offers that validate offers fast, quick feedback to test your micro offer ideas? Do you have any micro offers? Do you have any packages that you have that you offer to people?
Yeah.
Hooray! What is it?
Well, I have more than one. One of them was what I was alluding to a little bit earlier is I created a survey and an assessment. The survey is just kind of like for people to kind of understand what they're missing in lead generation literacy. The assessment is like 31. The survey is 8 questions. The assessment is like 31 questions to go deeper, and the assessment will guide me. Eventually, it'll guide me straight into my membership program by aligning. But I also can use it to guide me into doing another program I have, which is flash coaching, flash business coaching. And so I have different variations of that model. And by flash coaching, basically what we do is we get a general assessment of what somebody is doing, what their needs are and everything. And we help them go step by step through a process so that they can finish and accomplish their goals. And we do it in short bursts. So depending on the level, essentially you meet once a week. You have this goal, and I help you hold you accountable and help you with any issues along the way to be able to go to the next step so that you move through. And so that's I have a trial for that, and so I guess going through the whole process, you can do one of the short trials and do that, and so it goes step by step by step, and eventually it can lead to other things. And that Flash program is also a part of the overall umbrella of my membership program. So I'm trying to house everything in one place because I got tired of having all these different components that were all tied together, but not exactly. So I hope that addresses your question.
Yes.
That sounds so cool.
Mhm.
So
What is that?
our micro offer, I didn't even think about it until you just said that, but we actually do have a micro offer, which is so crazy. And because I didn't think we had one till right this minute, right?
We've been talking about this the whole month, and
No,
today
but
at the
it
end,
take a while sometimes. I'm kind of dense. Um,
I don't believe that at all.
no, but so one of the things that we had started, I've been talking about mapping for a long time, right? And I'll
Mhm.
explain mapping in a second. But when I came up with the title, instead of just changing it to call it mapping, we called it performance lock mapping, right? Okay, now so what happens is when you get an injury, there's a barrier like scar tissue or inflammation or whatever between your ability and your ability to access your ability, right? The things that you've been building into your body all these years, right? So when we break it down, it immediately kicks back in. So all the skills and I would say your as an athlete, the one thing that makes you more viable as an athlete than in somebody else is your accuracy, right? So scar tissue creates a distortion of the communication between your brain, body, and your skill. So by breaking down that scar tissue or whatever it is, it will immediately reestablish the correct communication, so your skill level jumps up immediately. So we had, like, for example, one guy, he came to us, he we worked on him for like 3 days. He went back to school and he ended up with 21% more power, more strength. They do those different tests for agility, flexibility, mobility, but his power was his issue, and he had 21% more, right? So now he was at like Georgia Tech or something like that. Now he's at Ole Miss. So it's great. Like he like really skyrocketed. So that's to so we started doing that for other people. So it's called a performance lock mapping, where we actually go over your, either it can be local or it could be full body, and we're able to figure out all the things that's causing you not to be as elite as you possibly can be, and then we can fix it in a very short period of time, or address it in a very short period of time, and then you can just go and be amazing. So that's like the first step in like managing or improving your valuation, and uh or getting like a performance enhancement, right? So it's like so great. So we actually are going to be doing that. That's another thing that we got into. I forgot about saying that we got into this the VIP section of this event called Fit Fest. So we'll just be working with the VIP people. So yeah, so having that micro offer to be, so we really charge people to do it. So for the Fit Fest, we'll do like a mini version and let people like schedule to come get a full one if they want. But it's amazing. It's really amazing. So it's so exciting.
Your August has been very busy. Have you
Yeah,
written all of this down on your calendar just so you can see, like, dang, I've been busy this month?
I think she could do the TV show 2024. Was it where everything happens and it's impossible to make that many things happen in one day. That old TV show is like it's almost like wow, it's impossible for you to have gotten all that done in a month. But no, that's awesome.
I don't think that it all happened and it all culminated this month. Like it's stuff we've been working on for a while. So it's not like you know how it is. You got it's overnight success,
Yep.
right? It's not real.
It's
It's
kind of like
just
this. Yeah.
yeah. It's just we've been working. Like we literally have been working on getting all this
All
stuff
that stuff.
together like since January, really.
I
So
relate.
it's been 8 months.
That's how
So
my month has been. It's just brought it all together this month.
Yeah. I think it's the energy. You know how things happen cyclically,
Mm,
you know, and it's like all the work that you've been putting in
mm,
finally comes to fruition in certain time frames.
yep.
I think what happened is Elle says she wants something and then it shows up. Were you looking for me? Because here I am. Every time we talked about the reticular activating system and L, and we think that L, you were telling us about some of the stuff that has been going on, but then Enos says that I want what she has, and we thought it was the reticular or how you use your reticular activating system. So we asked Chad about it, and it told us that we need to look for this stuff. That way, we'll recognize it when it shows up. So I think that when you say that you want it, it just shows up right away because that's what it looks
I
like.
dream of Genie.
Yeah.
It's a y'all just you just don't see all the work that go on. Well, you see some of the work, but I be working all the time. It's a lot of work. Ain't nothing happening. It ain't magic.
Yeah, you going like
All I
this.
know is that you say stuff. I want to work with Furman. A few hours later, hey, I'm working with Furman now. So
Yeah,
that's
I
what
just
I
happen to be
see.
in your parking lot.
Yeah, that's all I see. Oh, Joe wrote in the comments that he just say I
Map.
did, yeah, map content map.
Yeah, I just actually did mine last couple of days. I actually, it's funny because I had my last name SAYLES value
Mhm.
ladder.
Mhm.
I had that as a separate document. My buyer's journey is a map. That was a separate document. Um, my what I basically done my content schedule, that was a separate one. And if I'm going to be teaching people, I wanted to be able to put it all in a place where they can map it out. So I actually put it on a spreadsheet. And so like one of the things I've got is, okay, this is all the kinds of content I'm going to put out. I got to say whatever the article topic is, and so I'm going to do a long form video, a short form video, audio from it, a blog post, and a newsletter. Those are the 5 pieces that I do off of my content.
Mhm.
And so I'm going to have an alignment of all what their topics are, and then my next slide on this, or my next page on this, is the same article topics. I'll align it up to where am I distributing them: YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest. Okay, and then the next tab of my mapping is my journey map, and this is a buyer's journey. This is where people kind of miss out. You guys aware of the, yeah, because Erica, you talked about this within the last 2 months, AIDA or
Oh,
AIDAS model.
Mhm.
So this is the buyer's journey. So you take the article, you put the kind of content that you're going to put in there, but anyway, what piece of content is going to align with awareness, what piece of contents or what kind of educational marketing materials are going to align with interest, what are going to align with decision, what are going to align with the action of purchasing. So I have people, I'm making it so you can map it out and design that. And then the final thing is the sales ladder, the sales value ladder, and that is taking that piece of content and then looking at how are you going to map that into dollars. And so the free content is going to lead to
I can't hear
webinar, which is
you.
going
Your
to lead.
mic.
Oh,
I can hear you now, but it went away.
okay. Yeah, I got to.
It went off again.
Okay. How
There you
about
go.
now?
That's
So
good.
I just got to not bump into my mic. I got to pull it apart and put it back together here after we're done. But anyway, basically going from my free offer to getting them something that's going to get their interest, which is kind of as soon as I can get them into a webinar if I can, or even give them a free download, but get them into a webinar as quickly as I can, because that way you got some time in front of them. Um, and enough to sell them on what you need, and then moving into what's the initial purchase that I'm going to move them into, whether it's my flash program, my flash business coaching, or am I going to move them right into my membership program. My membership program is only going to be, it's going to be between $100 and $150 a month. and then they have the ability to, do consulting with me, to have me be their agency and everything else. But they have the mindset that I have. I'll give them the mindset, so then it'll make sense what they look for, and they won't have to be worried about losing money. But the point is, it's all mapped out. And I figured, if I'm going to be basically a an academy almost of at least part of it is going to be where I'm teaching these things. I got to make things easy for them to kind of understand picture and go through the same thing. So mapping is a big one that I accomplished this month too. Kind of like Elle, a lot of things that have been in my head for the last 3 years have been sitting there, or even longer than that. Some of them 5 and 6 years have been sitting there. They're now physical. They're at least they're digital, and now I'll be able to use them.
That's
I
so
didn't
Erica, how
think
about
awesome.
about
you?
I didn't even think about mapping until I heard it from Elle, and I didn't really put it together until I heard you and Elle talk with each other about mapping. So when I did that podcast thing for Elle, and she told me that other people want to start their podcast, and I'm like, I didn't do this for other people. I just did it for you. And she's like, well, you could do it for other people, but I didn't think of that as mapping until just now.
And the
I
thing
know,
is,
right?
it's
It
such
is
an
like so
important.
great, like how like your brain like just go boom, like just when you like. I love this. I love us. I love how we all interact together. It's just amazing.
And it's so important to, sometimes it's the peripheral things that make your service better, that make you strong. And that's why it's kind of good sometimes, especially to be in something like this, a mind, whatever we call it.
Mastermind.
Thank you. My coffee
Not a
kicked
peer
in and now my
group.
mind stopped. So, but it's so good to share ideas because these little things are what add on. I go to, we I think I saw messaging earlier or something like that with the topic, and I've been to like 7 different coaches, marketing messaging concepts, and I turned around and I was like, I build my own based on pieces I got from a lot of these different people, and realize, like with you, Erica, you do so many things. If like the man, what is all the processes that you're doing behind the scenes? You need to make sure people understand what they're paying you for, and if you can, and also if you're coaching them to do it or you're teaching them to do it, give them those pieces. That's where your power is, that you're organized and know how to do it, but they don't. And that's what we got to all remember and what we're doing. As service businesses, if we're trying to sell our services or we're trying to sell ourselves, it's good to it's good to be able to communicate things sometimes. And that's not always my best, at least not in short, impactful ways. Um, like I had a conversation with my brother last night. I can't get him to understand certain things about where I am, where I'm going, and what I do, not in the short amount of attention span he gives me. So, you know,
Yeah. I tried working with one of my aunts, and she told me I asked too many questions. And I asked her how was her business coming along. She's like, I finally got somebody to do hosting for me. I'm like, somebody's doing hosting for you? I was like, what do you mean? I was like, who's your hosting provider? She's like, oh, somebody else set it up for me. I'm like, who's it through? I don't know. They set it up for me. I'm like, oh, you're not going to make it hard for them to rob you. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
I was like, go ahead and build a business for them.
it's funny how sometimes the people close to you don't want to hear you, and yet you could save them all kinds of trouble.
She did say she didn't understand me, and she did wanted me to just set it up for her. I'm like, it's not that I can't just set it up for you. I just want you to know what I'm doing, just in case you need to know what happened. I said, I don't want to make it so easy for somebody to just have you build something and them to take it away from you.
Yep.
And she says she understands that, but she didn't want to learn. I was like, well, dang.
But
That's
we had this conversation, Erica, and whenever you're gonna have like multiple different types of clients. You're gonna have clients like I don't care about all that. I just want you to set it up. And you
Mm.
can't just give the money away because you want them to be educated. You just gotta be like, okay, fine, let me just set it up for you. Here it is. And just manage it for them. But she wanted it for free anyway, so you ain't lose nothing. But
but you're right.
she ain't getting it for free, huh?
That's it. You're right. And the thing is that I'm learned and learning. The same thing for me, Erica. 100% the same thing. I learned to break it down into bits and pieces and bite-sized chunks and bullet points and things like that. So if they want to learn more, it's going to be something you can learn really quickly. Just go to my website. You'll see, just kind of that kind of mindset. because I do want to show them everything and tell them everything, but they can see that what they need to do, right there, basically. If you're struggling and you see you're going through these things, then join. Period. Done. See you.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the next question is dun dun dun. Okay, polish your funnel. Make subject lines and sequences more clickable. So we had talked about making a funnel post event or making a post event funnel, like 3 to 5 emails, like what happens after this event. Have you ever done that before, Joe?
Hmm. Yeah, that's
Because I hadn't
important.
heard of it before this month.
Really.
No, no. This my email sequence went uh like this. Thanks for coming. Here's the replay. Here are the key points. One email. That was it.
After that, the action
Yeah.
should take them into, like, if it's somebody new, it takes them into an indoctrination, like for somebody that's new. Then they learn more about me and the other things I do. If it was an event, then I can take them to that, and then that's where your map comes in. You can take them onto your content map. You can take them onto different things. So yeah, that's I would say just make sure after you have the funnel for whatever the event is or whatever, then you want to make sure you have a catch-all underneath that, and then you have your regular marketing catch-all underneath that. Does that make sense?
It
So
does.
the first catch-all being, this is who you really join, this is who I am. They can see your personality and your indoctrination, and then the other catch-all being the newsletter, and then the newsletter, that's where you're going to say, hey, this is the newsletter schedule, or the activity schedule, or something like that.
I do that stuff before. I don't
Hmm.
do any of that stuff
After.
after.
Yeah, you got to remind them.
Yeah, Erica, but we always do post event stuff.
I mean, it's not an email sequence follow up. So I do one
And ongoing.
email, I do one LinkedIn newsletter, I copy paste that to Facebook and Twitter, and then it goes to I make another newsletter for my Facebook group. There is a Medium blog post that the RSS feed is picked up by SendFox, my email service provider, that will go out that Wednesday, and it'll go out maybe Thursday from LinkedIn, my LinkedIn company page. So there's a lot of stuff, but I don't do email follow ups as good as what Joe said or what we had talked about earlier this month. But
I,
I'm going to try to pick that up.
yeah, but I think we can add that, but I think that our follow up process is really good. We get a lot of people that still interact with us post event.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the emails are emails, and well, lots of people don't read emails, but like I don't anyway. I mean, I had time. I mean, let me say, I get like so it's so crazy. It's starting to even get bad with text messages because I literally have to go like take time now
Yes.
to go through my text messages to
Hmm.
go back and see what I missed because we'll get like a barrage of text messages all at one time or one person talking about. I'm like, can you just call and stop sending all these stupid text messages because it like pushes all the other stuff out the way. And that's the same thing with emails. And I'm starting to get irritated. I wish
Hmm.
that there was a way to just, like when you go into say Gmail, whatever, and you're like, okay, so these are the things that I want to stop coming. They still let it come. It's so frustrating. But I feel like the whole point of a post event process, it doesn't only have to be emails. I think the post event process that you use is really good because it's hitting people in multiple ways. It's not just an email. So adding the email process I think could be great to catch other people who we aren't catching, but for the most part our post event sequence is pretty strong.
That makes sense, Joe. When I told you I wrote the podcast PDF for Elle, and I hadn't heard from her in 2 weeks, I was so sad. I told my husband that maybe Elle doesn't want to work with me anymore, and he's like, are you assuming or did you actually call her and talk to her? I was like, I
Right.
haven't talked to her. And he's like, well, maybe you should call her. And I called her and she said she did. And I was like, so happy. But yeah, it was scary. But yeah,
Yeah.
I also have like 11,000 emails just sitting in my Gmail account unopened.
But thing,
I have.
I didn't even, I know that you had told me that you had did it, but I didn't know that you had emailed it to me because I figured, usually we get on a Zoom and we just go over stuff. So I didn't know. So you changed our process. That's how come I ain't know. And then, I wasn't hardly in the office. It's like now Melanie has to check the emails because I'm not even anywhere where I can look at emails right now. So
Mhm.
crazy.
I didn't send an email. I sent a LinkedIn. I sent a text, but that
Like,
was it.
That's a good. The reason I like that we communicate like that, Erica, is because I don't have a whole lot of them there. So when it dings, I know, okay, it's Erica or it's Erica.
it's funny because I don't even, I'm not, if I'm not on, if I'm on the computer, I check everything, right? Like I try to. But if I'm not on a computer, like it can go days and days where
Mhm.
I just don't even, I can't even sit at my desk because either it's people in the office coming for services, people coming for meetings, people
Get your
coming for
notification.
whatever, and I'm just like, "Ugh." And then I don't even get to have my phone because Melanie takes all the phones because she got to respond to text message and phone calls. So it's just like, oh, so crazy. So I'm sorry, Eric. I didn't want to make you sad.
No worries. I
I was
shouldn't
gonna.
assume.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on your toes. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say there's a guy who Eric K. Johnson is a podcaster. His emails, I read every single one of them, and the reason why is because they're rarely more than like 8 sentences. Very, very, very succinct. He gets to the point. I try to write like that, and I use AI, and I have to keep telling AI, no, we got to cut this down, and when I cut it down, it doesn't sound like me. I, I'm trying to get to the point of bullet pointing so that people can see the basics. But it's just that's just so much extra work at this point in my with everything I've got going on. But those are things to think about in our emails. Um,
I think what I like to do is have like a little, like a bullet pointed synopsis at the top
yeah, that's what I
and
mean.
then let the person go down and read the other things. For me, because I am, y'all know I talk a lot and I write a lot. So when you because I feel like the when everything is so short and like my team's like that's too much. I'm like, but the whole point of me writing this is so that I can educate you, and I can't partially educate you like the rest of the world does so that you can be stupider.
Dang.
I'll give you psychology behind that. As an educator, one of the things I learned when I was a school teacher, when I did that for 15 years, is that basically you have four different types of people who are, are your personas that read. You have those that have to have it really quick, so that's the ones that need a bullet point. You have those who are visual stimulated, which is me. You have to have the visuals on there. You have those who you need to be able to have long form because they're going to want to know detail or they're going to read the bullet points and want to come back to the detail. And I forgot the other one. The other ones are very emotional tie in. So that's where storytelling comes. So in all this marketing stuff, if you hear all that, it goes to that same school of thought is to try to remember to put all those principles into your thing. So writing long form is a good thing, but also giving them bullet points or often also giving them the short version up front is very helpful. And
Yeah.
now GEO, SEO for generated engines,
Hmm.
AI is I guess it's a very useful tool and for that to identify the top of your pages, the top of your articles, or top of things. Too short, didn't read.
Too long, didn't
I mean,
read.
too long. I said too short. I can't believe it. Too long, didn't read. Have that kind of statement or a bullet points at the top of the page, and then they can go down to the rest. So.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
Jimmy Newsom says that we should have frequently asked questions and newsletters, like have a too long didn't read section and a frequently asked question section in your newsletter.
Mm.
Oh, just throwing it in there.
Too
Okay.
long didn't read. What's that? What you?
Mhm.
What?
It's like a
TTL. Oh,
index
mhm.
or a table of contents, something like that.
All right, we gonna have to we.
TDLR, TDL semicolon R. You never seen that?
I mean, I know what it means. I just mean like if they didn't read it, how you gonna put that? Well, I don't know. I'm confused
Summary,
now.
summary or bullet
Joe,
points.
Elle has just admitted that she does not read my LinkedIn newsletters. And that
I
is
haven't
terrible
read it.
news.
I haven't read nothing in like I usually read them. I haven't. I'm telling you, I haven't been on the computer this whole month.
It's
No,
all
because
right.
you've been doing everything else in this last 24 hours for this month.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
appreciate
Joe,
you.
we still got 2 more days left. Something else is coming.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Clear next steps, small actionable moves to keep momentum. Elle, what's going to happen in these next 2 days?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I think like well, I have to get the news. I have to get a brochure together for the NFLPA. I actually already wrote the content. I just need to design it. We are getting our, so I have as part of the team for the um, Go High Level, there's a social media person, so they do all the posts. I have like 21 weeks of posts that I need to finish getting just the graphics for. So like every week has its own topic, so I have to write the articles for them, and whatever the video post is going to be, then we'll turn some of the turn the so the way that I did it was every week, every day there's a post, and then the posts can be each, and they're all kind of like designed visually this together, and so then they can become a carousel. So and then so I'm just working on the process of what all the video sides of things are going to do, but we're going to post all of the videos that we have, the testimonials. So Philip went and kind of, we had posted one of them, and I was like, Philip, that needs to be branded, and it needs to be more, you know, just more luxe feeling, because the problem will become somebody's going to steal our video if we don't brand it. And
Mm,
yeah, so
Don't make it easy for them.
yeah, but we it really needed to be branded. And people, like you don't, so the problem with football players, which is different than like say a tennis player, like a tennis player you get to see their face and body and you get to see
hmm
them. Football
hmm
players, all you see is their uniform.
Yep.
So when you see them as a person, you're kind of like, who is that? And
hmm
so we had to put their name on the video so you can actually know who it is, because um apparently, I mean, to me, all the players are just people, and they're people that I like, right? Some of them, like some players I've had, and I'm like, okay, we're good, but not like I'm like super crazy about you. But these particular players were really great, and it just so happens that they're like Deshaun Jackson is like one of the top 10. He's on the list of the most top 10 most explosive players ever in the history of of the sport, which was crazy to see that. And then Eugene Chung was the first. Uh, I believe he's Korean, but he's the first Asian athlete ever drafted, and I think he went 13th in the year he was drafted. And so it's just all for business. Having the endorsement of those people is amazing, right? And then it's like a big deal. But to me, as just as people, they were just awesome people, and the way that we helped them was so great. Like Deshaun Jackson was like, "Man, she like took 3 years off my life. I go quit being a coach, going back and play in the league, right?" So that kind of thing. And then Eugene Chung is very intellectual. And the way he broke it down, his testimony was amazing because he was like, this is something that you should be using in your processes, in your system. Like this, I was just, I was surprised by his testimonial and the way that he saw what we did and how it fit into the whole scheme of things. And it's just because he's just that intellectual.
It's
So
nice when people can see you.
yes, yes. And I didn't know that he thought that until we till he gave his testimonial. Because he's like, I can get up in the morning without pain. I was like, wow.
I'm
you
like,
know?
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he was like, he's like, his pain level. I mean, you got to think he played for like 10 years or something like that in the league. And then he's been coaching for like 13 years, something like that. I don't know. But anyway, but the thing is his pain tolerance is beyond anything because all the players who played like in the like 80s and 90s and probably before that all have pain every day all day, and for him to say that he was able to get up in the morning without pain just almost made me cry. Was such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like Joe, L looked at me and could tell I was in car accidents, and I had forgot until she reminded me.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that
And I'm
makes
like,
sense.
oh
That's what
yeah.
her focus is. It's when you get really in tune to anything, you can kind of read, So I say that
Hmm.
as a long time, I was a 25-year martial artist. I could I sized up every person in my life, especially if they were near my size, to say, and this was just subconsciously. It's like I could take him. He's left-handed. He would actually use his left foot, or he'd be susceptible to falling if I did this and that. I mean, that's just the first subconscious thought I would have when I walked up on everybody and anybody, especially in public. It's gone now.
Wow.
I'm a lot different now. But just to say, so I understand Elle being able to see that, in person, see that with you.
I think that's amazing. I always wanted to learn how to do martial arts, but none of my friends would teach me because they were like, "You gonna hurt somebody."
Yeah, there are those, especially those who don't have feeling. They sure will hurt you. But it's funny about you were talking about Patrick Chung, and I mean, yeah, no, not Patrick.
Eugene.
Eugene Chung and Eugene Chung. Not being in pain, and after I've known of athletes for so long, and it's just amazing because even us that never went pro, could be in walking around with all kinds of issues, and let alone somebody who's in a collision sport,
Mhm.
where you are going to get hit. You can't dodge and not get hit in football, you know. And
Yeah.
what I did, I was pretty good at the game of tag. I tag you, and I ain't getting tagged. So so it's different in football, but yeah. Anyway, hey,
Well,
when you get to the point that you turn this off, Erica, I want to share something, but I don't want to share it on the recording, and I want to share it with the two of you, and so don't let me forget, please.
okay. Joe, you didn't say what the next 2 days gonna look like. I think the question was clear next steps, small actionable moves to keep momentum. What's gonna happen in the next 2 days? You
I'm gonna
got
go.
2 days until August is gone.
I'm gonna go into the bank today. Um, I'm not even gonna joke that we're on that. It's not even a good joke online, or we're live. Um, I'm gonna be continuing. Really, it's just like Elle said. This has been a month of coming together for me, and I was really it. If you're always shooting towards a goal and you're always going towards a goal and you're always moving towards a goal, you're always making progress. You may not be hitting a goal, especially if you set it up and I'm trying to get to the moon without a vehicle, but I could get to the top of a mountain if I'm climbing in that direction. So this month has been a month of continuing to do that. And I just got to keep going down my checklist. I make checklists, and what do I got accomplished here? My biggest checklist now that I've been sitting on is how my I couldn't picture how to bring the community onto my platform. I didn't want it on Facebook. I wanted it on my platform, even though I'm going to have the free community on Facebook that I'm going to be livening up here in the next couple of days. Um, but I'm just trying to bring it all into one easy, accessible place. And that's where I wanted to go after we're on screen here. just to kind of get some feedback, really quick feedback, and it'll also kind of mirror some of the things we said on today's episode, so you can kind of see where some of those how they're in play, you know. But I'm just going to be continuing to move forward. It's nonstop. Sunday, you know, Sunday I'm going to be, Lord, you know, I do my best to be hands off the computer on Sundays and off the phone as much as I can. So that's my goal, is to work hard Saturday, Sunday. It's because my hands are not going to be busy. You know, is I will be sitting there. Things will probably be kicked. Oh no, I got a 60-year-old birthday party to go to with my cousin, so I won't have to worry about
Ooh.
that. But if we go, but there's just so many things that tomorrow I want to get done. Today I want to get done, and they're trying to wrap up, moving on to next month, so I can launch, even if it's going to be a soft launch. So
But it's a
Okay.
holiday weekend. You forgot.
I
It's the
did
weekend.
forget.
It's
What
the
is? You know
weekend.
what? I'm not out there in the real world. I'm in here in the digital world. I forget that it's a holiday weekend. There's no having fun running around anything. So I'll get done a lot done today and on Monday for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll say for me, I'm not sure if I told you guys about this, but Hey Summit has a tab called Stages, and for me, it looks like a YouTube playlist. So I set those up. Sometimes I set things up at the last minute because I'm lollygagging, but if I go ahead and set these up right there and then, I don't have to do anything. And it's really easy to set up. I've talked to Chad about it. I was like, hey, Chad, I want to have cohesive uh, sessions with the virtual summiteers. And I need all these meetings to flow together. I want you to put in that we have speakers on the first Friday and that we usually talk about goal settings in October. Chad did it. And all I need to do is put it in there and make some thumbnails.
Very
And,
cool.
I like that when I was worrying about putting stuff up together at the last minute for this August, and I saw that it was already done, like the whole month of August. I was like, phew. So now these last 2 days of August, I'm gonna go ahead and set it up for September. Yeah, and I already got a speaker. I told you, Monty Weaver's going to talk to us about community. So maybe we'll all hear something new about community. Okay. Let's see.
Mic drop.
You, yep. Have you had a mic drop moment this August? Like, what was your favorite thing that happened this all of August? Can you pinpoint it?
Yep.
What was it?
Got my membership out of my head and onto digital. I can visualize it now.
Nice. Uh, L, what was your pinpoint August moment or mic drop moment for August? Was it going to Delaware? Was it Furman?
Oh my
Was it
goodness.
hanging out with the quarterbacks?
Girl, I
Was
don't
it just
even
all of
know.
August?
I would have to say August itself has just been a whole kind of like the whole month's just been a mic drop. Just going into August was so stressful because excuse me. You know what? I'm gonna say it is actually having our website and our systems functioning. That was the mic drop moment
Okay. I
because
like
we have
tech that
been working,
works.
huh?
I said, I like tech that works.
Yeah, because you just have to imagine like we were like one like mostly every night we were working till like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, working on getting all that because normally it takes you several months to get a whole CRM website, funnel system, all those things uh done. You know, it takes a lot of work. And the fact that me and Larry were actually able to put up because I had everything was already pre-done because I had already been planning to do this in Client Joy, right? And I already had all the pieces already. So when he's like, "Okay, so the next thing we need to do is put this together." I'm like, "Okay, here you go. I already got it." And I understood the whole system and how it's supposed to work and interact, so we were able to work so synergistically that we were able to get the whole thing from from concept of which platform I was going to use to implement it and being used in really like a couple weeks. That was our mic drop moment that we actually were able to do it. And now we're just working on refinement. Unbelievable. I mean, because the first week of August, we didn't have anything because Klein Joy had completely flailed on us, and caused so much havoc. And so by the second week, we had decided on go high level. I hired Pringle Marketing. They came in, we got it done, and everything is just, it made everything else possible, really.
Okay, nice. One of the things we talked about this August was having an offer for like $27 or less, or something at a minimum price that you could sell. Do you guys have anything like that? I think for me, it was what I did for my four piece series on hosting a virtual event. I'm not sure $27 would be the way to go. I think maybe the lowest I would go would be, I want to say maybe 57 or 97. How about you? You guys, you have an offer that you could put a low price on it just to get
Our
it out there?
our low ticket offer is $1,750, and it is a mapping session with all the reports that go along with it.
Okay. How about you, Joe?
Yeah, I have several of them, but the newest one is a 1 week trial of my coaching for $25.
Okay. So our funnel finish line, a lot of the things we talked about this August was picking one thing and sticking with it for a whole month. And one of those things was like this offer. Could you sell it, or just promote that one thing, or talk about that one thing for an entire month? Um, would you, any of you, dare to do something like that? Like, Elle, would you talk about your mapping session for an entire month?
I think that's what September is gonna be.
Hmm.
We're because I mean, literally, you guys, if for all of our market segments, it's relevant, right? So, and it's something that agents can use, trainers can use, as well as for the athlete themselves. And I hadn't said anything yet, but all the things that we have been doing, we have, I finally, so the next step for us is to take, all of our, uh, everything that we do is like anonymous, right? So we don't put, so all of our case studies are anonymous. So we have, in this last few, since January, all the people that we've worked on are gonna be put into a blind case study, and all the analytics and everything will also be attached to them. And it's gonna be like this incredible database of change, right? For people that can, hopefully some other organization that's into all that kind of data analysis will
Hmm.
want to use for whatever they got going on. But I feel like it's just incredible. Um and we also are going to be able to use the data to kind of like support what we're doing. And we'll like come out with a report. I don't know if it's going to be annually or semi-annually. I don't know yet, but it's incredible. So
Okay. Well, let me take this down. Next month in September, our topic is scaling and engagement, and we're gonna have Monty Weaver be our speaker, And his topic will be search, suggest, and subscribe: 3 steps to audience growth. And that will be the start of our September. And Joe, I know you wanted to say something, so I am going to stop it now.
Okay.
Hold on, stop recording. Confirm.